It's the race room. This is what's coming up.
We've got the top motorsport news stories.
We're talking weight and water in DTM.
We've scoured the internet for the best tweets of the week.
And we're meeting Motorsport's moaning granny.
There's just too much to look forward to. In the news, the young driver test at Silverstone has begun, and it's become a bit of a general test with race drivers now allowed and testing those Pirelli tyres. The big news story though is that Daniel Ricciardo will be testing for Red Bull Racing, potentially as an audition for taking Mark Webber's seat in 2014.
The big news at Marussia this week, they are going to be changing to Ferrari engines for 2014 when those smaller engines come into play, changing from Cosworth to Ferrari. So it's going to be interesting to see what that does for the team. There's also been a bit of a shake-up. Pat Symonds moving over to Williams, replacing Mike Coughlin. So can Pat secure that first point for Williams this season?
In the German MotoGP race, two huge accidents for Jorge Lorenzo and Dani Pedrosa, and Jorge already with a titanium plate in his collarbone. He bent that, so both did not race. Therefore, Marc Marquez potentially had an easy run to the flag. He now leads the championship by 2 points.
We were all looking forward to the first standing start in IndyCar this weekend, but it wasn't to be, with Joseph Newgarden stalling, so the race had to start under a yellow flag. What a nightmare. But Scott Dixon came through to take the victory, winning 2 races at the weekend.
And some sad news. Josh Hill, a friend of the show here, has retired from racing at the age of 22. He now wants to be a rock musician.
We all saw that awful moment when Mark Webber's tyre came flying off at the German Grand Prix, and after that it's been decided now that all FOM accredited cameramen are no longer allowed to be in the pit lane, but the FIA accredited media are, so good luck to them.
And now the big one of the week.
Our biggest story this week comes from DTM, the German Touring Car Championship. Now, they were racing out at Norrisring this weekend. It's 55 miles from the Audi factory, and Audi haven't won there for more than 10 years. So when Matthias Ekstrom crossed the line and took the victory, there were smiles all round.
Yes, but there was then a bit of a problem in Parc Fermé. For some reason, his father squirted water into his pocket and therefore broke Parc Fermé regulations.
Now, when we were talking about this earlier, Ben, I didn't understand. So very kindly, we went outside and Ben showed me why it's a problem.
The whole point is weight. At the end of the race, when the driver comes into the pit lane, he has to be the same as how he was on track. And the car, you can't give the car anything and you can't give the driver anything. And adding that water in the pocket made him heavier.
I don't believe you.
Well, that is why we've got weighing scales and water. Let's see how much I weigh.
Okay.
All right, 82. That's good. 78.2.
78.2.
Oh, now pour the water in my pocket.
So let's recreate this actually. So it was the left pocket.
It was my left pocket, and I'm hugging a driver in my pocket. Get in there.
Sorry. Okay, I'm pouring.
Oh, it's actually cold. Who got this water?
I love this job.
Oh my God. Oh,
we must make sure we get all of it in
every single little bit. There we go.
Really get it in there. That's great.
Okay, that's
so
enough.
Much more.
That's enough. I don't want any more.
Okay, so it's really going on your jeans there. And it would be like the race suit, I guess.
And that's bigger than the bottle of water that Ekstrom had as well.
Okay, so stop. On we go.
Now we're going to have a look at how much I weigh again. 78.2. 79.2. You just put a kilo of water on me.
God!
So if Ekstrom was bang on the base weight, then, in theory, he could be put overweight by that water.
So Simple. It's actually true.
I now have a very wet leg.
God, I can't believe it. Oh my God, never thought it would actually work.
Yeah, much heavier now. At Vale Yellow 46. Hey, Marc Marquez 93. Keep attention to Cal Crutchlow tomorrow, and not just in the track.
Awkward.
That's why I love MotoGP riders.
Oh, Marc Marquez, he's so innocent. Cal Crutchlow is such a naughty boy. Oh, beware. Back's against the wall, Mark.
Next tweet. At Foss Goodwood. The £10 million traffic jam. At Nick Heidfeld. Unique experience here in Goodwood. After having been in UK 100 times, it's first time I caught small sunburn. Oh, I'm so jealous that I couldn't make it. The first time in 19 years that I've not been at Festival Speed.
And I agree with Nick. It was sweltering and so many cars. You just can't look at enough. There's like Maseratis, Ferraris, Lamborghinis, McLarens. It's just endless.
And we have videos coming up for you on pole position, so keep an eye out. Next one.
At Bobby Timmons. That awkward moment when you wreck your boyfriend in a NASCAR race. Danica.
Poor Danica Patrick running her boyfriend off the track there.
Crashing into Ricky Stenhouse Jr., who is her boyfriend. Never, ever mix business with pleasure.
No, don't do it, Danica. Don't do it.
She loves doing it.
Next tweet.
The Sports Partnership. Talking tactics yesterday after first Jenson Button try heat. Pole position P1, Rosanna Tennant, Paul di Resta.
And how did those tactics work out for you?
Yeah, we didn't so much share tactics in the end because Paul wasn't going on to do the final, but I was.
Oh, you were?
I left him under a tree in the shade. Yeah, that's how it rolls. But yeah, amazing day. What a triathlon.
A fun weekend with Jenson Button. And of course, there'll be videos online of that. And you can check out what we've been up to in the mashup from last week's pole position channel.
Yeah. We've got a third presenter on the team with pole position now. It's Moaning Martha. What's she up to now?
Oh, the Young Drivers Test. A chance for all the young uns to have a go in a Formula One car. I've been waiting all season to find out which young whippersnappers are going to be hurtling around Silverstone. First up to make their announcements was Lotus. Well, blow me down. They've announced it's David Valsecchi and Nicholas Prost. Well, they have a combined age of 57. And then they go and announce that current drivers can take part. So Kimi Raikkonen is as well. He's 33 and he's won a world championship. Then there's Gary Paffett at McLaren. He's 32 and he's done 10 years with DTM. Paul Jensen and Checo are having a bit of time off. Martin Whitmarsh, is that a good idea? Toro Rosso, well, they've gone and got Johnny Cicotto. He might be young, but he is the son of an ex-Formula One driver. See what I mean? Well, at Red Bull, it's going to be like musical chairs. They've got Mark Webber. Well, he's over the hill, isn't he? And he's taking part. There are 5 of them. And then my dear old Frank at Williams, he's let the beautiful Susie Wolff have a go. She's a young 30, shall we say. Maybe it helps that her husband does own 16% of the team. But my poor old Sam Bird, well, he is young, but he gets to see Lewis and Nico racing around, having all the fun, and then they go and ban Mercedes from the test. Not fair if you ask me. So it turns out young and old can take part in the Young Drivers Test. Well, as I always say in the paddock, you're only as young as the driver you feel, eh, Rosanna?
Don't you, Rosanna?
I don't know what she's talking about. No idea.
More Moaning Martha next week.
And now for the weather.
Duh.
No, we're going to tell you what is going on this weekend around the world in motorsport. Ben,
Just 1 week after the German Grand Prix, we have the Laguna Seca race over here for MotoGP.
MotoGP going on there, nice star, slightly taking over the whole thing.
California's now covered in a star. We also have the World Series by Renault race and the European Le Mans Series, and that is in Austria.
Totally obliterated by the start. There we go.
There is an eclipse now in Austria and most of Central Europe.
So that is what we've got to look forward to this weekend. I can't wait.
And pole position, what are you up to this weekend?
Taking a little bit of a breather before we get back into it with Rally Finland. And of course,
me too.
Next week we'll be back for Race One.
There's loads of stuff going on the channel. Make sure you tune in. See you next week.
See you then.
Rock Road. Yeah.
That's true. It's a bit cruel to split them up. Boobs or bums?
Well, if you were racing, you would try and run at 11 because the atmosphere, the adrenaline, that would be your speed. But